President Muhammadu Buhari has directed that the nation's Democracy Day will no longer be held on May the 29th, but on June the 12th, every year to honor the acclaimed winner of the June the 12th, 1993 election, Moshood Kashimawo Abiola. The president has also resolved to honor MKO Abiola with the highest national honor, the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic, posthumously. Buhari, who announced this on his Twitter handle, also conferred a national honor on Baba Gana Kingibe and recognized the late Gani Fawehinmi for his role in the actualization of the June the 12th election. Well, joining us to discuss this announcement is Head News at TVC News, Babajide Kolade-Otitoju. Now, the word on some lips is this gesture is better late than never. Are you excited, and what does this mean for our democracy?
Well, I'm happy. That's the way to describe how I feel. It will amount to some exaggeration to say I'm excited. Very few things make me excited in our country these days. I'm happy. As a Nigerian who witnessed the events of June 12th, who as a young journalist covered the election and saw Abiola defeat Bashir Tofa in the polling unit in front of his house at Gandu Albasa in Kano, and saw Abiola post remarkable victories in nearly all the states of northern Nigeria, an emphatic victory. It was a happy day because Nigerians put religious sentiments aside and voted for the Muslim ticket as against the Muslim-Christian ticket as represented by the NRC, the National Republican Convention, Bashir Tofa and Sylvester Ugo. So we all expected that Abiola would become president. He had good programs at the time, but some military officers piled pressure on Ibrahim Babangida, at that time the president, and he kept delaying. The results were being released piecemeal. But because the way the election was conducted at that time was very transparent. You lined up behind the image of the candidate of your choice, option A4. Yeah. So before you left the polling unit, you will have known who won. So we knew who had won the election. But these guys did not want to release the entire results. They kept delaying, and then by June 23rd, officially, they told us that the election had been annulled.
So not only does this declaration mean a lot for what MKO stood for in terms of, representing the democracy Nigerians, did on that day, on June 12th itself, but it's the type of, elections that was held. It was the freest and the fairest for all Nigerians to see.
Yes.
But some would say, why now? Why now that this June 12th is being declared as Democracy Day? Because this has been an agitation that most people, especially in the Southwest, had asked for. And now the APC government came in 2015, and at this period in time, it decided to declare MKO Abiola's the June 12th election as Democracy Day. Why do you think it's coming at this time?
Well, why now? My answer is why not now? The president, I won't blame the president for doing what presidents before him refused to do. And in the hearts of many people in the Southwest, former President Obasanjo remains a disappointment because they expected Obasanjo to make June 12th Democracy Day.
Right.
Appeals were made to him.
Right.
Recommendations were made to him. But Obasanjo's nature ensures that he sees so much being wrong in anybody from this part of the country moving close to his stature. Remember, even when the whole world wanted June 12th, wanted Abiola's mandate actualized, it was Obasanjo who traveled to East Africa to say that Abiola that you people are talking about is not a messiah. So it is not a surprise to someone like me that he chose not to honor June 12, the memory of June 12. This same Obasanjo went to jail. People like Kunle Ajibade, people like Beko and some Kuti, they fought for Obasanjo when he was in detention. The stories that we wrote designed to help Obasanjo out of detention eventually sent some of our colleagues to prison. Kunle Ajibade was jailed, locked up in Makurdi prison. Beko Ramson Kuti was locked up in Katsina prisons. But what did Obasanjo do? Immediately he came out of prison and became head of state. He gave himself state pardon, unconditional state pardon. But all of those people that went to jail for fighting his corner, he did not think that they deserved presidential pardon. He never gave them presidential pardon. And on the day Beko died here in Lagos, Obasanjo never sent a message of sympathy to the family. So I'm not surprised that Obasanjo chose not to honor the memory of June 12. I'm not surprised. It is consistent with his character to do that. Now, Buhari, whether we like it or not, all is fair in politics. The president is going through some heat at this time. He has to really do the right thing at the right time. The elections are coming. This election will be tougher than the last one.
Right.
And the Southwest is going to be the main battleground because the Northwest, some of the votes from the Northwest will be shared. The votes in the Northwest will be shared because this time around the candidates are coming from the North. It is even possible that 2 or 3 of the candidates will come from the Northwest. So as things stand now, by the record, by INEC record, the Southwest has the second largest voter registration. Just less than 4 million to the Northwest number, which means that there is so much to play for in the Southwest. So the president is doing his best now
so it's more for political gimmick.
To appease to the sentiments of people of the Southwest. He knows that it's crucial for him to retain his support base in the Southwest because his support base in the Southwest enabled him to win the last election. So, and he knows that the numbers are diminishing in the North Central. So he has to really focus on keeping his support base in the Southwest. And he has benefited from good advice from people, from some of his supporters, some of the key leaders of the party from the Southwest, and he has taken this decision. I tell you, this decision sits well with a lot of our people in the Southwest, and this is not a decision that the president can reject.
Although we do not know the events that brought about May 29th as being a democracy day, does this make October 1st less significant when we look at the issues or the events that took place at both dates?
It's only Obasanjo who can explain why he chose May 29. Because before 1999, May 29 was not known in our history. It was not known in our history. Every leader tries to pick a date and make that date significant. Remember that even Babangida, on the date that he took over office and named himself military president, he literally made that date very significant throughout his reign. It was very significant. That date was in the heart of everyone. Now, Obasanjo chose May 29, but you know that our people rebelled against that date. Look at a state like Osun. Consistently, they continued to celebrate Democracy Day on June 12th. They rebelled against May 29, at least under Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola. And even when Mimeko was governor in Ondo State, Mimeko also continued to to honor the memory of Abiola on June 12th.
Okay.
On that day, we'll call people, there will be lectures, there will be all kinds of celebrations.
Okay, let me quickly come in here now. We need to ask this question because some Nigerians we really want to understand now. Now that the president has, given June 12 as declared June 12 as Democracy Day, yes. Is there any possibility that another president or a leader can come in tomorrow and say, okay, I'm undoing what President Buhari did for June 12 Democracy Day? Is it possible?
I do not see that happening because whether we like it or not, the Southwest is very, very crucial in the politics of Nigeria. And you will see clearly that the president took a decision to honor a pro-democracy and human rights activist. Because even here in the Southwest is the home of activism. The NGOs, the bulk of the NGOs are here. The newspaper barons are here. The newspapers that matter in our country, the barons are resident here. So one way to get the people against you, to turn the people against you, is to take an action that appears to be targeted at diminishing the people of the Southwest. Goodluck Jonathan, in not according enough recognition to the Southwest, paid heavily for it. Because even the media turned against him, and in the end, he fell. So I don't think any government that seeks to remain in office for the foreseeable future would want to say, no, Abiola does not deserve this. Abiola was a Nigerian with extensive contacts who was well loved across the country. I think before he even won that election, in 1 year, Abiola donated money to all the tertiary institutions in Nigeria, all the polytechnic and universities. Each of those polytechnics got 1 million, All
right.
So why would anyone want to diminish the memory of that kind of person? I don't think that any government will come into power in Nigeria and want to do this. The president has taken a good decision.
All right.
It's a decision that sits well with many Nigerians, and I think that many years down the line, he will thank his stars for taking this decision.
All right, Head News, TVC News Nigeria, Babajide Kolade-Otitoju, many thanks for your thoughts on the News Hour.